In this video, we'll take a look at how windbreaks can benefit poultry farms and offer some tips about where to go for help with design and financial assistance programs. Rick Reimer is the district manager at Kandiyohi Soil and Water Conservation District. He works with poultry producers to help them through the process of planning and putting in windbreaks.
In the wintertime, we have our notorious northwest winds that blow down here in this flat country down here. And without this windbreak, this barn behind us would be take all the abuse from those cold winter winds. You'd see more energy being used without this windbreak with these cold winter winds. You'd also see more energy used to remove the snow that these cold winter winds are bringing into this facility. And with those winds, you're also going to get sediment blowing called erosion, which would also get into the barn facility itself.
In the summertime, without a windbreak, airborne sediment is more likely to blow into the barn, and winds are more likely to carry odors out. Surface winds can vary a lot, but they mainly run parallel to the ground. When the wind encounters plants and trees, the flow is disrupted, creating quiet zones. Odors and potentially disease organisms can be attached to dust particles. Plants act as a filter, catching the dust on the surface area of leaves, needles, and bark. Another benefit of windbreaks is they work as a living screen or a visual screen. It sounds funny, but researchers have found out that people complain less about odors if they don't see the barns. As they say, out of sight, out of mind. When you're applying for a livestock permit in your county, some counties may require living screens or windbreaks to be planted around your facility.
Most landowners, when they come in, they're interested in putting these trees in and for the reason to protect their poultry facility. And they're also interested in cost. What kind of assistance can the conservation offices offer? And most of the conservation office would be the Soil and Water Conservation District, which is a state/county entity, and we have a lot of times local funding, or we have state cost-share funding. And then the other entity would be the NRCS, the Natural Resource Conservation Service, which is a federal service. And they have CRP, EQIP, and CSP, programs that would be reflective to putting in windbreaks. It can be up to 75% on some of the costs on planting the trees and buying the trees, and even some site preparation could be involved in some of your cost share assistance. Chemicals, if used to get yourself in control of the weeds before we plant. The fabric that we just got done putting on this morning at a windbreak, that also all can be cost share assisted on. And again, it depends on the program that you are going to be eligible for, that how much is going to be cost share assisted for.
A common farm windbreak usually consists of multiple rows of trees and shrubs, including some coniferous trees for winter protection. This poultry windbreak was planted 12 years ago and has 8 rows. The number of rows and species you plant will depend on your goals, objectives, and availability of financial assistance programs. The distance of the windbreak from the area to be protected should be approximately 150 feet. On the leeward side, windbreaks will protect the area 10 to 20 times the height of the planting. On the windward side, the protection is 2 to 5 times the height of the planting. The distance between trees within the rows and between the rows will affect how your windbreak grows. Trees planted too close together may be stunted due to crowding. If placed too far apart, you may end up with gaps, which reduces the effectiveness of the windbreak, potentially creating wind tunnels between the trees.
I think one thing about a windbreak is you can drive around, you can see what you've done through the years, and you think back to the 10 to 20 years that tree was planted. It's amazing. And again, I can drive by something and say, that's going to be there for quite a long time, probably longer than I will be around. So they always said, what's the 2 best times to plant a tree? Today or 10 years ago. So let's do it.
We recommend you rely on the professionals at your county Soil and Water Conservation District or your local Natural Resources Conservation Service offices to help you plan and establish your windbreak. It is especially important to keep weeds under control and trees watered the first 3 years. If you're looking for more windbreak management tips and tree selection information, See what we're recommending at the University of Minnesota Extension website by clicking on the link in the video description. Thank you.